A year ago my family member, 26, discovered that his fiancée, 29, of 7 years, who he has 2 children with, had been having an affair with his younger brother, who just turned 18. His brother was living in his house rent-free at the time as well. So his fiancée left him for his brother and had a fling with him for a couple months. The younger brother is basically homeless now, jumping from friend to crash at their houses, while working at a job that he makes minimum wage at $7.25, while she is still living under her ex-fiancé's roof. She then decided she wanted to work things out with her ex-fiancé, so they got back together and decided to reconcile the relationship, which left the younger brother furious. Shortly after that, she finds out she is pregnant but does not know which brother is the father. Her fiancé said he would raise the baby as his own even if it was not his. So she decides to keep the baby. This makes the younger brother more furious because she aborted the child before this baby that she knew was the younger brother's. So the younger brother verbally attacks her for aborting that child and keeping this one because there is a chance it is her fiancé's. She is unemployed during this time, so her fiancé is paying for all of the expenses. 9 months later, still unemployed. She has the baby and it ends up being the younger brother's child, and they all try to do co-parenting. The baby is 3 months old now, and my family member's fiancée left him for his younger brother again. My work requires everyone in our group have security clearance. It's boring work and the most basic of clearances. Wednesday a coworker's desk was completely cleaned out. We were told she lost her clearance and was fired. Weird. Her BFF spilled the beans later. Turns out Sharon had met a man online and they were madly in love. And she cashed out her 401k, her life savings and a second mortgage to send to him. She's 67. To no one's surprise he's not a real person and it was all a scam. He claimed he was royalty from Nigeria. Work found out when she started borrowing money from coworkers and it made its way to our boss. It's very sad but still, WTF she was around when the whole Nigerian email scam was around. She should have known better.
Loneliness will make you do crazy things.
Teach a man to fish and he will always have food. Teach a man to fish and he will become a Nigerian prince.
My cousin has been together with his wife for 14 years and has had a girlfriend for just as long. Neither of them knew about the other. He got caught because of an image on Facebook. His wife's sister posted a family picture which my cousin was in and got recognized by his girlfriend's sister's acquaintance. He got away with that for 14 years.
I'm always amazed when I hear stories like this. Like how TF do you have time to lead 2 lives and not have them mix? I barely have enough time to see my BF, no idea how I could take on another relationship. And how do you respond when they want to meet your friends and family?
A friend of mine had 2 kids with a guy who worked in oil fields. He worked in 3-month-long shifts where he would travel to another state, then come home for 3 months, then travel again. They were together 7 years, married for 5, when she was doing laundry and found a second cell phone in his pants. Turns out, he had been married for 10 years to another woman who he also had kids with in his work state. She decided to wait it out, filed for annulment on the basis that he was married to someone else, and filed for custody of their kids while he was gone for work. Once she had it all worked out, she called the first wife and told her that not only had he cheated on her, he married someone else, and fathered 2 other kids. The husband angrily drove for 11 hours back to her state to find the house empty. Unfortunately for her, her not husband anymore found her and beat her within an inch of her life, blaming her for the first wife leaving him. She was in the hospital for several months and he is now in prison.
I'm a teacher, and apparently I don't pay attention to. Last year, my vice principal announced that he would be leaving at the end of the year. Let's call him Mr. Bob. I was shocked, as I liked and respected him a lot. It was well known that he was pretty unhappy, and it had been a tough year. I was confused though, because nobody else seemed shocked or upset. At the end of the year, I thought it would be nice to have everyone sign a card for him, but when I took it around, people started giving me these weird looks. Fast forward to halfway through this year. One of our teachers showed up with a change of her last name. It was now Mrs. Bob. I congratulated her and said I didn't even know she was seeing anyone, to which she laughed and said,
"You're so bad."
I was confused and shook it off. Long story short, I just recently found out that she and Mr. Bob had fallen in love or something and he left his wife for her. He literally divorced his wife on a Thursday and was married by Friday. I had no idea until she mentioned his first name and that they were moving out of the state. Looking back on it, I facepalmed so much. His wife at the time also worked for the district and at one point I ran into her and expressed how much I would miss working with Mr. Bob. She gave me a weird look and said,
"Yeah, well apparently he's been pretty miserable."
To which my dumb ass responded, "Well, let's hope he finds what he's looking for." I assumed it was all about his job satisfaction. I'm such an asshole.